Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 Manager 2022, and we've got a question to ask ourselves going into this episode to start with, and that is, what do we want to do with Fernando Alonso? We have Valtteri Bottas here on a 3-year deal, which sometimes is looking like a bit of a mistake, but we have Fernando Alonso with 7 months left. So what do? Do we try and offer him a new contract, see if he'll re-sign for maybe another year? Do we go and maybe give Drugovich a go, because we've been training him up for ages? Yeah, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, Alonso's been amazing, right? He's doing incredibly well this year in terms of the standings. If we go and have a quick look, you can see in the drivers, he is up into 4th. So he's doing a great job, and it's good to see Fernando back at his best. He has 1 win, 2 podiums, 4 fastest laps in this season so far already, 1 pole position, and he's finished 6 of 6 races, so not been withdrawn out of that. Valtteri, on the other hand, has nothing, but has finished 6 out of 6 and is in 10th, so he's not doing all that bad, to be honest. But yeah, we're coming off a good successful run. Today is Monaco, which I'm not sure how we're going to be getting on. It should suit our car reasonably well. If we go and have a look at this, we have the 9th best low speed cornering. Obviously there's a lot of that in Monaco. We have the 11th best low speed cornering in dirty air. Acceleration could be our downfall in Monaco, but we are now 7th in top speed, so we are very, very quick as a car. We just need to, and obviously where it says 7th, it doesn't mean the 7th fastest team, it means the 7th in the grid average. So you've probably got the 2 Ferraris at 1 and 2, or 2 Red Bulls at 1 and 2, 2 Ferraris at 3 and 4, and then you've probably got the 2 Mercedes at 5 and 6, so we're the 4th fastest car on the grid, to be clear with that, just to clarify that. But yeah, it's interesting. Loads of low speed cornering, and we are 9th and 11th, but yeah, acceleration at 17 could let us down. So not too sure what to expect from Monaco. There probably will be safety cars, there probably will be incidents, although I think last year we didn't have any incidents at Monaco at all. We know that qualifying is crucial, so we're going to put everything we can into making that good for both drivers. If we can get a random Q3 rain session again and somehow get pole position, that would be delightful. But let's go and set our performance targets for the season. So we will say obviously Q3, we'll get both drivers into Q3, we'll get both drivers into Q2 as well. I still think we'll get that done. Finish position, we'll get both drivers. Again, I think we get more money for saying both drivers in the top 10, so that's what we'll go for there. And let's get a finish position streak. We'll get 1 driver in the top 10 in the next 5 races. I think that is totally doable. If we get both drivers into Q3, we get a payout of 2.73 million, which is absolutely awesome. We have a lot of money in the bank at 18 million pounds, but we're just waiting for enough to upgrade our facilities where we need to. Right, that's all that done. Let's get into it. I'll go and do practice. We'll be back for qualifying. Okay, practice done. Really good sessions, actually. We got both of them into the high 90s, 95% for Alonso, 96 for Valtteri. Everything looking good. We're ready for qualifying. Just need to put the new or newer engine components into the car again to make sure that we maximize our speed. Obviously, qualifying is massive around Monaco, so we do need to make sure we're in a good spot. But both drivers looking good. Well, in P2, practice 2, we did actually get Valtteri into P2. He finished as the 2nd fastest car in practice 2, and on the last one they finished 4th and 5th in practice 3. So we have used quite a lot of our compounds, but no bad weather predicted. It's all going to be pretty good weather, so let's see how we get on in Q1. Right, we're going to get Bottas and Alonso out very, very early, as we see the pit crew doing their thing, to get them out and hopefully go and get the slipstream. Let's see if it is strong in Monaco as well. So we'll go into this view as we always do in qualifying. Now we'll go quicker. Verstappen got in between us, which is a little bit annoying, but let's go and see how we can set a lap up here. As I mean, that looked like Bottas was getting caught by Verstappen straight away, but we are quicker than the Red Bulls in Q1. I'm going to suggest he probably got held up by George Russell as we saw some traffic in there. We'll put those same... Oh, I think I just put the wrong set on there. No, the same set. Yeah, we'll keep that set on. You've got that set on as well, which is good. So we will be ready to go just before the end. We're not going to do another lap there. Not the quickest. Russell went really slow. Gasly at the top. Bottas 2nd at the moment. Norris 3rd. Alonso 4th. we'll be back when we're ready to do our last lap of Q1. Okay, so some people are just starting to go out now, so we're going to try and time this right and go right at the back again. It's a 109 lap, so we're probably looking at a similar sort of time period as we have been doing in the past races as well, for maybe like a 155 to go out. We could probably even go a little bit quicker than that, because I imagine they're going to go. So let's send Bottas, then Alonso, and we'll see how we get on here. Oh, we got out just in front of Magnussen, actually, but we are going to get a bit of slipstream for each other. They start their flying laps. Where can we sit in this one? On our used tyres. Alonso jumped up. I'm not too sure where Bottas ended up, but there you go. Alonso into 5th, Bottas in 7th on used tyres as well. Lovely stuff. Perez and Verstappen at the top. Leclerc's there. Pierre Gasly still doing really well in that AlphaTauri, but we are through to Q2. So let's get into Q2. We'll put that used set on just for our banker laps to start. If we can get through to Q3 with a complete new set, that would be absolutely amazing. So we're going to go out and we're going to say, again, straight away, get these boys out. See what we can do as, DRS is obviously enabled. But hopefully we miss a lot of the traffic here. We do. We're going to get absolutely stonking laps at this point. I know we're on the used, but we should be pretty good. Bottas 110. Alonso 0.24 seconds slower than him. Verstappen goes very, very quick. So we are going to have to put on a fresh set of soft tyres. But we should have a set at the end to allow us in Q3, because I'm hoping we get through. We should get through into Q3, and then we'll have a set that we can run a U set to do the first lap, and then a fresh set to do the second lap. Okay, so as Hamilton leads the way very early on in the end of Q2, Alonso is currently in the drop zone, so he's going to be the one that we keep an eye on here. We need to see what's happening there. So we know 155 gives us enough time, and I imagine everyone will be gone by then. So if we hit a yellow flag or there's an incident, Alonso will be knocked out of this qualifying session. So we're going to let Alonso go first for this one, because he has been sitting behind Bottas every time, and maybe the dirty air has been affecting him. I completely forgot that these other drivers aren't going to be going, so hopefully I haven't messed that up. But Alonso goes out first. They should have enough time. Yeah, plenty of time to set their fast lap. No yellow flag to speak of just yet. And they're both through. Alonso and Bottas go through. Bottas 5th fastest. Alonso 8th. So all good. Gasly drops down. Russell goes up. We're in to Q3, people, which is exactly what we needed to do. Who do we lose? Norris, Hamilton, Zhou, Albon and Vettel all out. And the usual people got knocked out in Q1 because I didn't go through that. So right, we will start on this set of softs, I think, for Q3. And we'll use our fresh set at the end to try and set our fastest lap. Once the track should have its biggest grip and its most rubber down. So Bottas can go and then Alonso can go. And we'll see how these guys do on their first lap. Yep, DRS is enabled. It always is in qualifying. We get out just in front of Perez, who would have caused some traffic there. Although we do hit some. Yeah, Bottas, they're not quick laps. I'm expecting this to be quite clearly beaten, to be honest. Right, onto that set of softs, as well. And hopefully we're going to be in a good position here. At the moment, Alonso in 5th, Bottas down in 8th. I do think the dirty air cornering is affecting us. We may need to leave a slightly bigger gap between drivers, so we'll see how it goes. So we've got our first bit of movement, which is Max Verstappen and the Mercedes going out. Verstappen going to get that clean air here in Monaco. There goes Gasly. Then you've got the Ferraris going. You've got Perez going as well. And then I think what we can do is leave a little gap behind. There goes Ocon. So we'll leave a little gap away from Ocon to make sure we get some clean air for Valtteri. And then we're going to send Alonso out on the 155. There we go. So they both should have clean air to actually get a decent run in here. On the new set of fresh soft tyres. Last lap in Q3. Can they set some good times? We will find out as Bottas and Alonso 6th and 7th. It's not bad. It's not dreadful. It's probably where we should be in terms of the speed of the car. It's just Pierre Gasly is absolutely getting some rocketing speed out of that AlphaTauri. According to his teammate, got knocked out. Alex Albon got knocked out in what, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th position. So Yeah, Pierre Gasly doing some wonderful stuff with that. But it is a Red Bull front two. Russell, Pierre Gasly, Leclerc, the two Aston Martins, Daniel Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon, and Carlos Sainz. So we know our starting orders. Let's get into it and get our strategies pitched down, which is normally a one-stop in Monaco. It's just, I think the undercut is king, if I remember rightly, in Monaco. I think that's what we learned last time, that the undercut is king. We're going to go with that. Hard tyres dying off a little bit at the end. I think that's what we're going to do with both drivers. We're just going to keep Valtteri. That's Fernando Alonso again. Yeah, strategy A, which is pitting at lap 25. And obviously Valtteri is going to be strategy A as well. Although you could technically... See, it says the mediums are quicker, but I don't believe it. We're going to start on softs. And he's going to go one lap longer than Fernando Alonso. It just means, isn't it, you can do the mediums for a bit longer, get onto the hards, and then the hards will last a little bit longer at the end. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be a safety car, so we're also going to underfuel the car, because safety car obviously means that you can save fuel at some point. So that's what we're going to start with, but off the line we will go pretty damn quick just to see what we can do. Expecting some drama here in Monaco. Let's get into it, see how we go. Right, the streets of Monaco, here we go. 5 red lights, double Red Bull on the front row. Let's jump on board with Fernando Alonso. You can see a couple of soft tyre runners in here. Mediums in front of us. You got Russell up ahead on the softs as well. They're running used softs. We're running brand new softs. As Valtteri Bottas. Wow, what a move from Valtteri Bottas. We're going to watch that one back. Is he got just in front of the Ferrari? No, he hasn't. And then he just had to give that space up because of the bump in the road. And now we get the big sort of like delay, which in the F1 2022 driving game was actually... Leclerc takes Bottas. We haven't seen the first few runs yet. But yeah, in the driving game, it actually was a bit of an issue because it always waved yellow flags because everyone went so slow in the first few laps. Yeah, we're trying to get that Ferrari. Just not getting it done at the moment. Alonso is sitting behind Bottas, so we're just going to drop him down to neutral at the moment. Let Bottas have a go at attacking the Ferrari around these corners. It's a wonderful circuit. It's really boring to watch, I think, Monaco. It's a lot of skill for the drivers. I completely understand that. But, yeah, it's not the best to watch on TV. I think if you were there, it would be absolutely amazing. But... yeah, it's not incredible now. I think we're settling in. Bottas is trying to have a look at Leclerc, but I don't think he's really going to get it done. That's the move. That's the overtaking spot you can use. Sometimes up this hill as well, but it's not looking ideal for Valtteri at the moment. So we may, I think, let's just tuck in. We'll tuck in behind Charles Leclerc and be happy with where we are. And see how we do, because at the moment we're losing Alonso a little bit. I mean, Leclerc is losing a lot of pace on Gasly, probably where he's defending from us. Okay, DRS is now enabled on this lap, so Bottas can sit behind Leclerc because he's not going to get DRS, and we are. Verstappen has already put 1.7 seconds to him and Perez as well, so Verstappen should win this race quite easily. But yeah, if we can drag Alonso along with DRS, there's a chance that we could both pass Leclerc on this lap. Maybe Bottas gets it done in the tunnel section, and then Alonso gets it done on the start-finish straight. But then Leclerc will have DRS on the start-finish straight when he's behind Bottas. So it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm very, very intrigued because it should be pretty interesting. I thought the tunnel was a DRS zone. Maybe there's only one DRS zone in Monaco. What am I on about? Of course, it's on the start-finish straight. So Valtteri should get it done relatively easily on the start-finish straight. Alonso is still here as well. We'll push him to make sure that he can be right up behind Charles Leclerc once Valtteri gets his move done. There we go. We'll just take that off there. We will then push Bottas into overtake as we come around the last couple of corners of the lap at Monaco. And hopefully Valtteri with DRS and overtake on ERS can get this done up the inside. Come on, Valtteri. You're not... I mean, that was rubbish, Valtteri. Now get it done up the hill. Now get it done up the hill. Now get it done up the hill. Valtteri, you've got to be more aggressive, mate. You're wasting your battery. You've got DRS and Leclerc doesn't. You've got to make it count. Okay, we're going to have another go on this lap, and we're going to go overtake, and we'll say driving clean air so that it completely avoids Charles Leclerc and hopefully gets his foot down. and makes this count. So Charles Leclerc hasn't come to defend, and there we go. Right, that is the difference between using driving clean air and not using driving clean air. It does force the driver completely wide. Right, now we actually do need Bottas to sort of get a little bit of a shimmy on. I know he's not got too much fuel in there, but he needs to catch up to Gasly and get that DRS as soon as he possibly can. So let's deploy this, see if he can pull away, get in that DRS of Pierre Gasly, and make something work. We are with the fuel. We are banking on a safety car, but I feel like it should be a decent enough strategy. Right, Valtteri Bottas is within DRS of Pierre Gasly. We're just going to keep it on deploy as we come around the swimming pool section into the chicane, or out of the chicane into the swimming pool section, I should say. That is the same place. So right into neutral. You should now be able to keep that that DRS. See, Leclerc is not very quick at all. So now we need to do it with Alonso as well. Get him moving as we come through this section. So again, overtake, driving clean air, get it done on Charles Leclerc. Although Leclerc may have just snuck back in to DRS there. We'll have a look, see if his back wing opens. Is it going to open? Not sure it is. It didn't, but it might just be a graphical glitch where sometimes it doesn't open. So we are going to see if Alonso can get it done up this hill. I don't think he's going to quite do it. So we'll save it for the next lap. That's fine. That's totally fine. Not a problem. Bottas 0.8 seconds. So Leclerc is, Gasly is driving that car relatively fast. But yeah, we're in a good position here. Leclerc is now getting dragged back into it. So we do need to get that pass done with Alonso, if possible, on the start-finish straight. But yeah, Verstappen already 4 and a bit seconds in front of Perez. He's making that clean air work for him very, very well indeed. As yeah, Leclerc really can't keep pace with this group in front. It's pretty worrying for him, to be honest. If I was Ferrari, I'd be incredibly concerned about that. Bottas is losing pace to them as well. So we just need to make sure that Bottas keeps that going. Right, we're going to do, as we come around here with this time, we're going to go full deploy with Fernando. And we're going to see if he can get this one done as we come round the corner. Because Leclerc, I think, won't have DRS. He was like 1.1 seconds there. So you can see he's proper deploying it. Leclerc comes over to cover. Go on, Fernando. Get it done. Can you get it done? You can deploy all your battery. I don't mind. Get into that clean air. He's trying. He's trying. It's just not working for him at the moment. Leclerc doing a better job of defending Fernando Alonso than he did Valtteri Bottas anyway. So we're right on his behind. Leclerc, yeah, definitely losing pace where he's trying to defend away from Fernando Alonso. But yeah, we'll come back and attack attack Charles Leclerc again and see how we get on. Right, and this time Charles Leclerc is definitely not going to get DRS, and we definitely are. So as we come around this corner, get your foot down, Alonso. And we should, I mean, Fernando Alonso is making really hard work of this. He really is. I know Monaco's hard to overtake, but that's the place to do it, down that start-finish straight. It's all over the back of him. He's gone for a little move there, but Charles Leclerc is going to close it off pretty easily. I think the other thing we can do is try and use this as a chance to get our fuel back in line. And just see if Fernando Alonso can get it done naturally. Bottas keeping pace with Gasly, that's totally fine. I've got no issues there. Okay, we've got Fernando Alonso to try and push through, and it looks like he's going to get it done into turn 1. He doesn't have much battery left, but the better tyres should get it done. We just had to get him to push a little bit harder. He is through, and hopefully now he can drop Charles Leclerc. Although Charles Leclerc is hanging on like a very annoying smell at the moment. And look, he should... Oh, Fernando Alonso backed out of it. Charles Leclerc showed his determination. He's kept that spot. That is really irritating. And we know now... Right, let's harvest up in these points. Don't deploy coming through here. Alonso needs to get past. Bottas doing a great job of hanging on to Gasly, by the way. Both drivers bringing their fuel slightly in range as well, which is good. But, yeah, not ideal from Fernando Alonso that. We still sit behind Charles Leclerc with Valtteri Bottas showing us what to do at the moment in Monaco. Pit stops are in about 13 laps time. Okay, right, I've got a feeling this is the lap that we're going to get this done. And interestingly, Bottas, Gasly's dropping out of DRS range of Russell as well. So can now Fernando Alonso get this done finally on Charles Leclerc. We are right behind him. The Ferrari has much better acceleration. Charles Leclerc's gone to defend, but this time we are easily through. And that is much better from Fernando Alonso. Little bit of a push on the tyres as well. But all good there. And now we need to go and catch up with Valtteri Bottas as soon as we can, who should be challenging Pierre Gasly pretty well as well. So how is everyone's tyres doing? We do have better tyres than the other soft runners, but the mediums obviously will be getting an advantage. Hoping the undercut is still massively OP in well, it was last season. Let's hope it is this season as well, that it's going to be OP. And we just need Fernando Alonso to close that gap on Valtteri Bottas as best as he can in these laps and pull away from Charles Leclerc, which I'm hoping he'll be able to do in these sort of sections where we were much quicker than him anyway before. It just depends on how powerful the slipstream is here in Monaco. Okay, so we've got Fernando Alonso to catch up with Valtteri Bottas, just nearly dropping Leclerc into that over 1 second barrier, but it's this narrow section here. Leclerc does make a bit of time up. Hopefully now he's going to have DRS as we come around this corner, I think. But we are both going to have it on Pierre Gasly as well, so now we're back in a train, and we're looking okay in terms of tyre wear and everything like that. So yeah, Fernando Alonso with DRS is losing time. Oh, Valtteri Bottas has gone for the move. He's not quite going to get it done though. Pierre Gasly defending that one well. Good attempt there from Valtteri Bottas. He can probably get that done naturally without much of my interference, as Alonso is losing a little bit of pace compared to Valtteri Bottas at the moment, but he should be in a good position to just stay behind him and get towed along. But all the time we've put in good gap between us and Ricciardo. Verstappen's well out in front by 8 seconds. Russell 1 second behind Perez, and Gasly now nearly 3.5 seconds behind Russell. So it's turning into a little bit of a pocketed race here. I mean, right at the back as well, you've got Schumacher. There's been no yellow flags, by the way. Schumacher's 12 seconds behind Tsunoda. So yeah, that says all you need to know about Michael Schumacher in that Williams, or Mick Schumacher in that Williams, sorry. So we've entered the pit window for Alonso. We want to try and, if we can, get the tyres one extra lap for both drivers. I don't think they're going to last though. But Pierre Gasly's causing a little bit of a train behind him, defending well from Bottas. But at the moment, there's no need for us to force Bottas past. We've actually doing very well with Bottas. We could probably ease off on his fuel for a whole lap and see if that helps him get back into line. Alonso, we tried to do that before, but he dropped off the pace to like 0.8 seconds, and that was getting a bit too close to losing DRS and then letting Leclerc in. So we didn't do that. We just eased off. But Valtteri has got slightly better tyres than Pierre Gasly, and Leclerc's on the medium, so he is going to be running longer than us, and his tyre life will come into effect at some point. But we'll stay on board with Alonso because we can see Valtteri Bottas battling with Gasly if it happens. But yeah, just where we drop off pushing the fuel, he does slightly get away, but it's not enough to break the DRS, which then pulls Valtteri Bottas back in to contention. And we can actually probably in these last few corners harvest up as well, because Bottas is going to get DRS as we come round the final corners, and Alonso will as well, and that should pull us both along. To be honest, they shouldn't be close enough to battle. There shouldn't be any difference in terms of battling there. So neutral, back to balance so that he can close the gap, because Alonso's having a little look. You can see him having a little look there, Fernando Alonso, at his teammate. And Bottas has actually dropped to 1.2 seconds, which is a bit disappointing. But that's the power of harvest, which is useless that it makes you that slow coming out of corners. But that's what it does. We should be able to make that time back up. Okay, so we're on... oh, I've pressed ignore. We are on the ultimate pit lap that we've set up for Fernando Alonso. So we are going to go onto those hard tyres. Let's go a bit more aggressive on this as well. I'm wondering, I think we've lost DRS to Bottas. We have. So let's harvest on this lap. Hold Leclerc up a little bit. Give Bottas some breathing room. He's now started his pit window, so he's going to have 2 laps until he's coming in. But we may bring him in the lap after Fernando just to try and get that undercut again. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, so Fernando comes into pit much earlier than anyone else. This is the strategy we're going for. The huge undercut, hopefully, is going to work. As long as we don't come out in a lot of traffic, we're going to be okay. If we can come out in that gap in front of Ocon, it would be absolutely wonderful. But we've dropped down there. There's a big gap with Hamilton as well. Here is Fernando Alonso, and he... Whoa, has gone into the wall to avoid getting hit by someone. So that's always good fun. As he comes around the corner and he comes out on fresh tyres in front of Guan Yu Zhou, but there is a gap between him and Hamilton in front. So we'll leave him on a little bit of the push for the tyres to see what he can do. And let's hope that works out, because we need to get these tyres back in line as soon as possible as well. So he is 39 seconds off Verstappen, who's in the lead. And the report, the track... oh my god, I always go the wrong way here, don't I? Reports, circuit info, time considerations, pit time losses, 22 seconds. Or 20 seconds probably for them. So it's going to be interesting, because they're all going to pit at the same time. So if we say 20 seconds, that would be there with Gasly. So yeah, if we can get some good running here from Fernando Alonso. I think charging up the battery helped as well on the in-lap. That seems to have been pretty good as well. And we've already closed the gap to Lewis Hamilton, as you can see. So that DRS is going to pull us along as well. And we're looking like we're in a pretty decent position here with Fernando Alonso. I'm not going to lie, I quite like the look of it. Albon's on hards as well already. Yeah, these guys are going to come into pit soon. Valtteri, who I've completely ignored, I think we do want to get him in to pit pretty soon on this next lap. He is right behind Pierre Gasly, so I think what we're going to do is get him in now. Go to the hards. Get you in as well. So we'll say push them, but harvest that. And then all we've got to worry about into the latter stages of this race will be fuel consumption. So we're in a good position here. I do quite like where we're sitting at the moment. The pace, or the lack of pace, of Pierre Gasly has brought Charles Leclerc right back into it as well. But at the moment, Hamilton, Alonso is the man we've got to focus on, who has now passed Lewis Hamilton. So let's get him back into his preferred tyre wear and allow Lewis Hamilton to do his thing. Valtteri Bottas will be coming into pit. We'll give that one a watch as well. He should come out just in front of Alonso, right? If everything works together. If the undercut is good, then Alonso will overtake Valtteri Bottas due to pit stop. So Valtteri Bottas is into the pits as well. It's a very strange pit stop at Monaco, or a strange pit lane at Monaco. You can see someone behind us coming in. Red Bull coming in as well. You've got an AlphaTauri coming in as well at some point. So on goes the hard tyres for Valtteri Bottas. And has Alonso managed to make up some time? Alonso is coming back. It's going to be close, because Bottas doesn't come straight onto the racing line there. There goes Alonso. So the undercut does look to be relatively strong. And if we can get Bottas out just next to his teammate, he is just behind his teammate, or not just behind, but he will be once he puts that in. This could be very, very good for Aston Martin. This could be very, very good. Good pit stop, chaps. Good driving, everyone. Alonso has still got this clear air. Valtteri's got a bit of clear air as well. He should catch up Fernando Alonso relatively quickly. As Verstappen comes into pit off his soft tyres, I assume he'll be going on to the hard tyre. As he swings in here. Yes, it is the hard tyre for Verstappen as well. Verstappen should win this race. I'm not saying we're going to cap Verstappen, but as everybody else comes into pit, we've put ourselves in a very, very good position. Gasly now pits as well. So Gasly's going to pit. So again, Gasly's not done his stop yet. Russell has just done his stop. He comes out on the hard tyre as well. So Norris is pitting. Gasly gets onto the hard tyre. It's right now that Alonso... Let's push Alonso ever so slightly in this little section so that he can get out in front of Pierre Gasly, who hasn't even exited the pit lane yet. So that should be... There is Pierre Gasly. We are going to be in front of him, so we don't have to worry about that. Is Bottas going to get in front of him as well? Yes, he is. We've both jumped Pierre Gasly, which is huge with the pit stop. Absolutely impressive. We'll get Bottas back into his normal system as well. Russell stays in front of us, but looking at the tyre wear, Sainz, Ocon, Ricciardo, Leclerc all still have to pit, as does Perez. So we could have jumped into a potential third place with Fernando Alonso. We'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, it's all good. Still no yellow flags, still no safety cars or anything like that. But looking good for both drivers at the moment. Okay, so we've actually caught up to the non-pitted cars who are on the medium tyres, which is incredible. And we're using this opportunity to basically try and get their DRS to pull us along. Alonso's sometimes losing the 1 second, but because these cars are so much slower, we get it back in on these last few corners. And we're using this as the opportunity to conserve our fuel to get that back in line. So hopefully all's going to be good and we're going to be in a very good position here to make this work, to get us into a position to get to the end of the race without minimal problems. We've dropped off Gasly out of DRS, so that's good as well, although he may gain it back as we're on this conserve strategy at the moment. But still, the medium runners don't pit, and they are going to end on the hard tyres. They'll have a bit of pace at the end, but really it's not. I think the medium or the soft to hard and pit a little bit early is the way to go in Monaco. Let's see how this all ends up. As you can see, we're right here. So Perez now does pit. He should come out just behind Charles Leclerc, but he also needs to pit as well. So plenty going on. Bottas's fuel nearly back in line, and we are looking from Valtteri Bottas. As you can see, he's definitely coming up. There is something in Sector 2. Someone locked up there, and we've just gone past them. We'll get a replay of that as everybody else now comes into pit. And it was Gasly. Pierre Gasly has locked up behind us. And did he not? Yeah, just couldn't. He had to go down the escape route, and then he's gone down here somewhere. So he's got that all wrong, but everybody else now comes into pit. Let's have a look what we can do in this position, because Carlos Sainz is holding everybody up, which is allowing us to get into a good position here. Sainz still doesn't pit. There is Daniel Ricciardo, and we've passed him. We've passed Leclerc. Yeah, this strategy was definitely the correct strategy to use as we're looking on board with Alonso. Let's go back to Bottas, and you can see we're in a very, very good position at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll stick with this conserve strategy because we're still getting pulled along by DRS, and we'll come back in a second when hopefully all the fuel is back in line. I'm just wondering, because Carlos Sainz is going so slow, if we actually put everything to conserve a little bit in this section here, I still think we're going to be totally fine for pace. Okay, so Carlos Sainz has pitted, which now means we need to get back on it so that we keep up with George Russell, who's going to have a lot of pace in that Mercedes. So we've taken off conserve of everything just to see if we can push. Now we might need to get Alonso to push a little bit harder on something and try and take Valtteri Bottas with him. I don't really want to use his battery, but we do need to get this 1.3 seconds done. I think it's going to be through tyre wear, which will affect us come the end of the race, but if we can get back within that, maybe we just get, because we did harvest up a fair bit under that conserve. Let's see if we can do this. I don't want to leave Bottas behind to make him in danger of Gasly, who's now behind him. So let's push both and use that to catch up to Russell and get in Russell's DRS. That is what's crucial here, getting in to George Russell's DRS, which we've done with Alonso at the moment. He is in, and now we need to get Bottas in for... We need to get Bottas back in as well, in line with Fernando Alonso, who is definitely going to have DRS now. And Bottas should as well. So let's take everything off there. Keep that going as it is. Both drivers just within a second, and Pierre Gasly isn't, so that will give us some extra pace. Lovely stuff. Okay, so strangely, I think Valtteri Bottas just generally has more pace than Fernando Alonso in this race. So I think we're going to... In here... Oh, it's not close enough, so don't do it just yet. I think down the start-finish straight, we're going to push Valtteri just to get him as close as possible to Fernando Alonso.
Pick up the pace a bit.
And then we're going to let him go past, because I think he's going to be able to hold with George Russell quicker. As you can see, Alonso there isn't really keeping pace as much as possible. So as we come into this final little section, we don't need to do that anymore, because we're going to manually do some team orders here, which is a shame for Fernando Alonso, but Valtteri Bottas has looked quicker this whole time in Monaco. So there we go. Right, Fernando Alonso lets him through. Now we just need to make sure that Bottas can get back into the DRS. I'm hoping the natural pace of Bottas will. We'll give it a go, see how he gets on. Alonso should be able to keep pace with Valtteri. They are in the same car with the same components, so let's see how this goes. That's let Gasly back in ever so slightly, so we're going to push Fernando Alonso just to get right behind Valtteri Bottas, and then we'll push Bottas a little bit to try and get him right behind George Russell when we need to. Okay, so while we've set the fastest lap with Valtteri Bottas, Alonso had it for one lap, then Bottas took it off him. We are losing pace to George Russell. I just think the speed of that Mercedes is a little bit too much for us, and if we start pushing with Valtteri, then it leaves Alonso behind, and that leaves him susceptible to DRS from Gasly. So I'm sort of in the position that a 4th and 5th finish for us is incredibly good, given how much Ferrari have messed up their pit strategies. Still no incident, still no yellow flag, no safety car, no VSC or anything like that in Monaco, which is just crazy. But yeah, we're still trying. You can see the natural pace of the Mercedes when we run everything as it should is just much better than our Aston Martin still at the moment. So we sort of catch up and get some time in the low speed corners, but then the acceleration is the difference, and that's the thing. At the moment, Gasly isn't close enough to challenge Alonso because he's still getting DRS from Bottas, and Alonso's DRS doesn't pull him close enough to Bottas. So it's all right at the moment. The position's fine. Could we potentially get a podium? Yes, we could. A safety car would be massive for us. It would be really, really good. Okay, so we're getting held up in a little bit of traffic now behind the two Williams, which is a little bit frustrating. It's opened the window for Gasly a little bit, but they do get out of the way. Don't cut off Fernando Alonso. I knew they were going to do that. So that Williams continues to get out of the way. Let Pierre Gasly through, which is incredibly frustrating. And now Alonso has lost the DRS to Valtteri Bottas, which is infuriating in this game when that happens. But that is what has happened. So Valtteri is in sort of no man's land at the moment. And we were using Valtteri to ease off on Alonso's fuel, because you can see what we've done with Bottas. We've got it back in line. But yeah, at the moment, we need this Williams to basically get out of our way pretty quickly and then hold up Pierre Gasly. That would be lovely. Cut across. Oh, it didn't cut across. Because Gasly is now going to have the DRS on Fernando Alonso. I'm sort of wondering if we just let him pass and use it as a chance to get our fuel and our battery back in line. But at the moment, we're doing all right. Valtteri, yeah, in a little world of his own now. He can go and do whatever he wants, because I'm not going to push Alonso to try and well, am I? Let's give it a go, actually, because if we do it, we'll ditch Gasly. No, look at Valtteri's making time on him. Valtteri is increasing the gap. So, yeah, I don't know what Alonso really not enjoying Monaco today. Do you know what? We've just put a load of time between us. So, yeah, let's go for it, Fernando. Try and break that 1 second gap in this technical section. Why not? Let's push it. We'll sort your fuel out later on. It'll be fine. If we have 2 seasons in a row, by the way, where there's no incidents at Monaco, it's absolutely blasphemous. Monaco's famous for its safety cars, its narrow walls, its close racing. That's what it's all about in Monaco. And to not have an incident 2 years in a row would be absolutely bonkers. It really would. We put a bit of time between us and Gasly, so at least he's not going to get the overtake done. But we'll keep pushing, see if we can at least break that 1 second, and then we can start looking at conserving everything with Fernando. Okay, we're going with a different strategy with Alonso. We're letting Gasly go, and we're going to try and use that as an opportunity to get the fuel back in line, harvest up the battery, and then have an attack at Gasly a little bit later on and give a hard push. But if Fernando keeps driving like this, he's going to very quickly lose pace to Gasly as well, which isn't ideal. This is the problem. We need to actually stick with Gasly and make sure that we're getting that DRS. Because look, Leclerc's closing the gap on us as well. Yeah, I mean, the tyres shouldn't be... We did pit earlier than everyone else, but it shouldn't be that bad. It shouldn't be that much of a difference. We really need to make sure that we're getting this DRS here. Otherwise, we're going to be a sitting duck for the faster Ferrari. And our pit strategy is going to all be to waste. And we're not going to get DRS on this lap. So we definitely need to make sure we do keep it on this lap. So we're going to push. I'm a little bit worried about the tyres, because they're going to be like basically no tread at the end, and we're going to be struggling. Right, we've put that back in, so let's have a couple of laps just sitting behind him, seeing what we can do, and then we'll start to manually do all this and get it back in line. It looks like once you get to 0, you actually are very much more efficient. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But Bottas is 6 seconds behind Russell, nearly 4 seconds ahead of Gasly, so in a very good spot for him. Again, 4th and 6th or 4th and 7th wouldn't be disappointing. It's just that I feel like Alonso's been a little bit disappointing today. 20 laps to go. It's not really worked with Alonso today. I don't know what's going up with him, what's been on with him. But Charles Leclerc right on his tail now. Gasly's pulled away. We have got his fuel basically back in line, but I think the tyres are having an effect. Now, it's an interesting one because we said, right, time consideration, it's 20 seconds for a pit stop. So in theory, we could pit and come out there just behind Carlos Sainz on fresher tyres and see what we can do. I think it might be a viable option because although that gap there to Norris is absolutely huge, we'd still be fighting for the points. It's just, I feel like giving Alonso a bit more pace could be crucial. We know we've got Bottas out there who's doing a good job. But Alonso is really getting swallowed up by Leclerc, and now Daniel Ricciardo's getting back in. I think we are going to do a pit stop for Alonso because his tyres are... We've pushed those tyres to try and give him the pace. I think if we go to the mediums, which can do... This says 48 laps. What have we got in the softs? 34. How long's left? I just said 20, no, 19 laps. If we just went into strategy view, quickly said we'll pop on a new set of softs. They will get to what... They're not brand new, but they will get to the end. Or you can put mediums on and push them. Yeah, let's go for that then. I think that'll be quicker. That says 27 seconds quicker. That says 16 seconds quicker. That says 24. So it is saying mediums with a bit of a push. Okay, right. Update that strategy into the race. Get you... It's a risk because I know we're giving up positions and it's Monaco. But we should still come out challenging for the points. And if we don't, then I'll be to blame, right? So let's harvest up. We'll just go aggressive on there, ready for the next one. We're going to be coming into the pit lane now. So this is crucial that we get a good pit stop here. We're going to let Leclerc and Gasly go, but I don't think Gasly's catching Bottas all that much, even though his tyres... We can maybe go on to a little bit of a concern. I don't think he needs to. Valtteri should be fine. Good pit stop, 2.6 seconds. Norris is just coming round. That's a lapped car, so we don't have to worry about that. It's going to be close to Norris, actually. Norris may just have the pace. Okay, no, we're going to come out in 8th, actually. Lovely, lovely stuff. Right, get that back into neutral. Fresh tyres, fresh medium tyres out in front of Lando Norris, who's also dealing with the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. But now, Alonso, do you have the pace on those mediums to get into it, in amongst it with Ricciardo and Leclerc? You've got to make up 18 seconds. That's quite a lot. But it's a second a lap you've got to make up to get back in this battle. Let's see if he can do it. I don't think he's quite going a second a lap faster, but he is setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, which is an extra bonus point at the moment, which is amazing. Verstappen actually probably is going to have enough time if he wanted to do a pit stop and come back out and set the fastest lap and win the race. So, depending on what they do with Perez as well, but we'll see how that one runs. Bottas losing pace to Russell, but keeping the same sort of gap to Pierre Gasly, which is good for him. And yeah, Alonso doing a storming job. He's not got many laps left. 15 laps left. 13 seconds. So he is doing a second a lap quicker than the cars in front. And he should catch them towards the end of the race. Maybe we've lost the position. Well, Leclerc was past us anyway, right? So this is going to give us good tyres at the end of the race to challenge back into 7th place. So who knows? Potentially, it could be a decent call to end up where we would have finished anyway. But Ricciardo was on our tail. So if we can pull up to Ricciardo, we may catch Leclerc as well. Who knows? Okay, new tyres were a stunning idea because that's Daniel Ricciardo right in front of us. Bottas is getting caught by Gasly. I'm hoping he's got just enough about him with 8 laps to go. It's going to be close because Gasly's got, well, better tyre wear. And that's what's going to pull him close. In fact, they're exactly the same now, so that could be an interesting battle. But yeah, Alonso, look at this in terms of closing the gap on Daniel Ricciardo. Absolutely superb. As I said, a safety car would still be huge for us because I assume everyone else will pit and then we'll get the lead of the race with Alonso. But yeah, if we can get this done on this lap now with DRS and Ricciardo doesn't have DRS, then going on to mediums could be good because I think we'll reel in Leclerc as well. As you can see, Alonso trying to have a look, doesn't quite get it done. Gasly is gaining on Valtteri Bottas and there's not too much we can do about that. To be honest, I think that's just Pierre Gasly being a bit too good in this game and having a decent car in the AlphaTauris. Fernando Alonso is having a look. That's such a difficult place to overtake. I don't even know why he attempted it. But yeah, we've got decent battery with Fernando Alonso. We've got 9 or 7 laps remaining after this one. Verstappen just starts lap 71. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But look how much speed we've had. 23 seconds we've dropped Norris by now. And we've caught up to Ricciardo, who's 18 seconds in front of us. So, yeah, the medium tyres around here are doing a great job towards the end of the race. Maybe next year, medium to hard to medium is the way to go. But I wouldn't rule out catching Leclerc at the moment. I wouldn't rule it out. But Gasly is now going to get DRS on Valtteri Bottas, which is a little bit of a shame because he hasn't got too much to play with in terms of available resources in petrol or fuel or ERS. So, yeah, Gasly maybe just managing his tyres a little bit better or something. I'm not sure. But Alonso surely now down this start-finish straight, he gets it done. He was 0.1 seconds behind him. We're going to have DRS. He goes to the inside. He should get this done into turn 1 because we should have grippier tyres on the mediums. It looks like we do. And Fernando Alonso... Hang on, Ricciardo. Bugger off. Bugger off, Daniel Ricciardo. We should have this position. He's still looking on the outside. Ricciardo's still hanging on. Right, Alonso, this time don't lose out like you did to Leclerc. Keep your nose in. He does keep his nose in. And Alonso gets that one done. Up to 7th place. Lovely, lovely stuff. We're all actually... If we catch Leclerc... If Bottas holds up Gasly... We're going to be caught into the same DRS train, which will be absolutely epic for us. And just one lap later, we are in the DRS train with Valtteri Bottas, Gasly and Leclerc. So the medium tyres doing an absolutely wonderful job. 5 laps to go. Valtteri is holding everyone up and we've got him on ERS to defend, which I think may hurt him a little bit as we come around the final corners because he's not going to have as much battery as everyone else. But Fernando Alonso is in this battle and he has medium tyres which are slightly fresher because we've been pushing them harder, but are slightly fresher than everybody else's. So if there was a way we could ask Bottas to sort of, you know, hold everyone up and take them with them, would get Alonso through. But yeah, it's a very interesting position to be in. The 2-stop proving pretty good in Monaco, and Charles Leclerc is attacking Pierre Gasly, which is going to hold him up as well. Yeah, this has gone better than I thought it would when Alonso's pace was dying off on those hard tyres. And look how much closer we are now to Gasly and Leclerc. 4 laps to go. Alonso could be in a position here to have a go at one of these drivers into the last little few corners of this lap. Valtteri Bottas is getting caught, but Fernando Alonso on these mediums
5 laps to go.
Is looking very, very tasty. And we're not doing anything with his ERS at the moment. So I think with Valtteri we can drop him back into neutral. He's got a bit of a gap between him because Leclerc is still trying to attack Gasly. As Fernando Alonso again having a look at this corner. It's not a good overtaking corner, Fernando. With all your years of experience, you should definitely know that. You should definitely know that. But getting towards the end of the race and the higher life mediums are looking good. Okay, we've basically asked Alonso to absolutely send it on Charles Leclerc on the end of this lap. So let's see if he can get this done anywhere. I mean, he's got the pace. He's got the pace. Valtteri Bottas is obviously holding everybody up at the moment in this chain. But yeah, because if we can get past Leclerc and then potentially get past Gasly before the end of this race, that is huge. And Alonso was having a little look. But if he can just bide his time and get around this corner, we could now get it done. Even though DRS will happen for Charles Leclerc. Tries to get back into that slipstream. Doesn't quite make it work. But can he get it on this corner? No. Let's get into overtake. Come on, come on, come on. I mean, I don't like him trying to do it on this section, but if we can get it, the earlier we can get it done before we start the last 2 laps of this race, the better. We have just knocked his fuel out a little bit though, but we're in a decent position to have a go at Charles Leclerc. Maybe pressure him into a mistake. Who knows? Who knows? So we're on the last lap, and it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get this done through Fernando Alonso on Charles Leclerc. We've had to ease him off on everything and get him in. But it is the final lap of the Grand Prix. As well, it's not for us actually. It is for Max Verstappen, who has already started his final lap. But Fernando Alonso may get a chance. He's got one more lap to try and do it. But we have to get this fuel back to 0. There it is. It is back to 0 now. So let's get... Bottas is going to be starting his final lap as he comes around this bit here. It's not out of the question for Fernando Alonso. It's not out of the question to get Charles Leclerc here and get up into 6th, but it's going to be a tough ask as Valtteri loses his battery, and now it is the final lap. So we'll go aggressive with his tyres. We're going to still on attacking with Fernando and just leave him on, deploy everything and see what he can do. I'm just wondering if potentially up here, if you say driving clean air, will it work around here to try and pull out into an overtaking position? I'm sure it won't in this section, but no, not just yet. So Verstappen crosses the line. That's how far he was ahead of everybody else. But Alonso looking like he's in such a useful position at the moment. What if we go into the tunnel? Can we get into the tunnel in driving clean air? I think we're going to be too far behind. Leclerc goes defensive. Leclerc is worried on this last lap. He really is worried. I just don't think we're going to have enough to get it. Enough about us to get this done. I mean, I'm worried that that says minus 0.0. I feel like we just conserve, make sure we get over the line now. I feel like lift and coast around these corners. We'll take the positions. Again, another Monaco Grand Prix with 0 incidents in it. Absolutely 0 incidents in this one. Bottas is going to come home in 4th though, which is absolutely awesome for him. It is crossing the line. Bottas 4th, Leclerc 6th, Gasly 5th. I did those the wrong way around. And Alonso in 7th. Good driving, good strategies. I think we all did pretty well there. Bottas in 4th. He's turned up finally at Monaco. Lovely, lovely stuff. So there we have it then. It's a Red Bull 1-2. They did it really well. Valtteri Bottas up there in 4th. Fernando Alonso started in 7th, finished in 7th, but put 2 pit stops in there and got the fastest lap. So an extra bonus point with that one as well. Valtteri Bottas climbed 2 spaces, which he gained off the start, which was incredible. Alonso stays in 4th. Valtteri stays in 10th. And in the Constructors, we hold on to 4th position, getting the same points. So that fastest lap from Fernando Alonso proving pretty crucial, actually. So yeah, all in all, very happy, because I don't really like Monaco, so very happy with that. Right, as we end the Grand Prix, the chassis research is complete for next year, which is good. Side pods are manufactured, which were just spares, and we're in a good position. Next up is Baku in 11 days, and I've got a feeling that in 11 days' time, we are getting new components on the car, so we should be taking some new stuff, current project. So we've got underfloor, oh, it's design. So our underfloor designing, a new rear wing, a new front wing, and a new underfloor are all going to be designed in time for Baku. But we may have to rush some manufacturing to get them on, but we'll touch on that in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. I do love a bit of Baku. See you then. Cheers.